They say when tragedy strikes, you find out who your family really is. I found that out in the worst way possible, when I was sitting next to my 8-year-old son's ICU bed, watching the machines breathe for him, praying he'd open his eyes, and my mother called to ask why I hadn't RSVP'd to a birthday party. Not just any party, my sister's 30th. A huge bash my mom had been planning for weeks. Catering, decorations, a backyard tent, and even a photo booth. My son, Eli, was supposed to be there too, but instead, he was fighting for his life. The call came at 9:47 p.m. I remember the exact time because I was staring at the blinking monitor above his bed when my phone lit up with Mom. I hesitated. I hadn't spoken to her since the accident 3 days earlier. Not because I didn't want to, but because she hadn't called. Not once. No, how's Eli? No, do you need anything? Nothing. I answered, cautiously. Hello. Her voice was brisk, like she was confirming a dinner reservation. Tomorrow's the party. Your sister's birthday. I assume you'll be helping me set up. I didn't even know how to respond. Mom, I said slowly. I'm at the hospital. And she snapped, like I was offering an excuse for skipping work. Eli's still in the ICU. He's unconscious. A pause. Not long. Barely a second. Well, I assumed your wife would stay. But we need all hands on deck tomorrow. You know how much this means to your sister. Are you serious right now? I could feel the heat crawling up my neck. My hand was trembling, and I clenched it into a fist. I'm not leaving his side, I said. He's not stable yet. I don't even know if Oh, stop, she cut me off. Kids are resilient. You hovering over him doesn't change anything. Then she added, like she was offering a compromise, you can leave after lunch and be back by evening. My heart dropped. Was this a dream? A nightmare? No, I can't. This isn't the time. She didn't hesitate. If you don't come, I'll cut you off. I laughed. A short, bitter sound. Then do it, I said. Because if I'm choosing between my son's life and a cake and wine party, you don't even deserve to be called my mother. I hung up, deleted her number. I blocked it, too, just in case I lost my nerve and called her back later. I couldn't afford the emotional fallout right now, not when Eli needed me whole. I sat back in the chair, tears threatening to spill, and looked at my son. Tubes. Wires. His small chest rising and falling in a rhythm that wasn't his own. What kind of grandmother cared more about a party than her grandson in a coma? It ate at me. That call kept replaying in my mind like a poison loop. And still, what she said next would haunt me forever. 3 days earlier, the accident. It happened on a Wednesday. I had just finished a morning meeting when I got the call from an unknown number. A woman's voice, panicked. Is this Mr. Keene? You're listed as the emergency contact for Eli Keene, your son. I remember her words so clearly it's like they're etched into my bones. There's been an accident at the park. He's being transported to County General now. Head trauma. It's serious. The rest of the day passed in a blur of screaming tires, emergency room waiting benches, and doctors speaking in low tones just out of reach. My wife, Jamie, met me at the hospital. She was shaking so hard she could barely sign the consent forms. They told us he'd fallen from the top of the jungle gym. But it didn't make sense. Eli was cautious. Shy. The type to go under a slide, not climb over one. And yet, he'd fallen, cracked his skull on the wood chips below, and hadn't regained consciousness since. They said we were lucky. That someone had seen it happen and called an ambulance immediately. But they never said who that person was. Back to the present, the ICU room. On the day of the party, I didn't leave the hospital. Jamie went home for a few hours to shower and check on our dog. I stayed. I couldn't risk not being there when he woke up. If he woke up, around 2:15 p.m., the machines beeped differently. A shift. The nurse glanced at the screen and then at Eli. Then he moved. A twitch. A murmur. Then, slowly, his eyelids fluttered. I stood so fast I nearly knocked over the tray beside me. Eli. I leaned in. Buddy? Can you hear me? His lips moved. Dry. Cracked. But he whispered. Mom. I reached for the call button. Nurses rushed in. Jamie wasn't back yet. I called her. Told her he was awake. She screamed in joy through the phone. But then, as the nurse checked his vitals, Eli looked at me and whispered something again. Mom. What, baby? I'm here. Then came the words that made the blood in my veins go cold. I got hurt because Grandma. The room spun. What did you say? I whispered. But he was already slipping back into sleep. The nurses said it was normal, his body was still weak, and he'd likely drift in and out for a while. But I heard it. Clear as day. I got hurt because Grandma. And I had no idea what the hell that meant. I didn't sleep that night. I kept playing his words in my head. I got hurt because Grandma. Over and over. Until the words didn't even sound real anymore. The nurses said it was a fever dream. That he was disoriented. But I knew my son. And Eli didn't lie. Jamie tried to calm me down. Maybe he meant Grandma wasn't watching him. Maybe she let him fall. But that didn't make sense either. My mom wasn't supposed to be with him that day. He was at the park with a sitter while I was at work. Or so I thought. The next morning, I checked the Ring camera we had installed outside our house. The sitter had picked Eli up like normal at 9 a.m. But at 11:42 a.m., my mom's car was on our driveway. She got out, knocked, and when no one answered, she walked around the house and left. 5 minutes later, she called me. I didn't answer because I was in a meeting. No voicemail. That wasn't unusual. She did that kind of unannounced drop-by all the time. But here's the thing. The park Eli fell at wasn't close to our house. It was next to my mom's neighborhood. I called the sitter. Hey, I said, trying to keep my voice level. Where exactly did Eli get hurt again? Oh, the park near Fairview. Your mom said she wanted to spend time with him, so I dropped him off there. My blood ran cold. She what? Yeah, she said you approved it. I figured you knew. I ended the call and felt my hand tighten around the phone. My mom had taken my son out of the sitter's care without telling us. She brought him to that park. And now he was in the ICU because of it. And she still had the audacity to threaten to cut me off over a damn birthday party? I wanted answers. But more than that, I wanted the truth from Eli's own mouth. I had to wait until he was stronger. But once he could talk again, I'd ask him directly. And I had a sinking feeling I wouldn't like what I'd hear. 3 days later, Eli was stronger. Sitting up. Talking more. His voice was quiet, like it hurt to use. But his eyes were clear. Alert. I waited until Jamie stepped out for coffee and the nurse finished checking his IV. I pulled my chair closer. Eli. I said, careful not to sound too intense. Remember what you said when you woke up? About Grandma. He looked down at his blanket. Fidgeted with the corner. I reached for his hand. You're not in trouble, buddy. But I need to know what happened. His lip trembled. She told me not to tell you. There it was. My heart thudded. Tell me anyway. He paused. Then it spilled out, fast and breathy. She picked me up from the park. I didn't want to go, but she said it was a surprise. We went to her house, and she gave me candy and made me dress up. Dress up? For a picture. She said I had to look cute for Aunt Casey's party. She said you didn't want me to come, but she needed a good picture to show everyone. I couldn't speak. I just nodded, letting him keep going. Then she told me to go on the slide. She said she'd take pictures while I went down. But I didn't want to, it was really high. She said, don't be a baby. His voice cracked. She said if I didn't do it, I couldn't go to the party. I felt sick. My stomach turned to lead. I was scared. I slipped. I don't remember after that. He blinked, eyes wide and watery. Was she mad at me? I swallowed hard, pulled him into my arms. No, buddy. You didn't do anything wrong. But I knew someone who did. She took him without permission. Pushed him. Used him for a damn party photo. My son nearly died because of her pride. I stood up, walked out into the hallway, and for the first time in my life, I called the police on my own mother. The officer met me in the hospital lobby. I told him everything. How she took my son without consent, lied to the sitter, manipulated him into climbing a slide he was terrified of, just for a photo, for a party she cared more about than his life. He took notes, asked questions, said they'd look into it. Not exactly justice, but it was something. I filed a report. Jamie backed me up. That night, my phone rang again, from a blocked number. I answered. I shouldn't have. It was her. I can't believe you, she hissed. You called the police on me? Your own mother. Eli almost died. I snapped. You took him without telling us. You threatened him. You pressured him. I love that boy, she shouted. You're twisting everything. I stayed silent. Then she tried guilt. I gave you life. And this is how you repay me? Turning my grandson against me? That part stung. Not because she was right. She wasn't. But because deep down, part of me had always been that scared little boy trying to earn her love. But not anymore. You're not the victim, I said flatly. You lied. You endangered Eli. And you haven't even apologized. Silence. Then, if you go through with this, don't ever come back to this family. I laughed. There is no family, I said. You burned it down. I hung up. That night, Eli had a nightmare. He woke up screaming, "Don't make me climb it again." Jamie held him. I sat in the chair, staring at the wall. And I knew then, I couldn't let her near us ever again. Blood may be thicker than water, but trauma is thicker than both. Despite blocking her number, cutting ties, and filing a report, she showed up. It was Eli's first day home from the hospital. Jamie and I were taking turns helping him adjust, keeping things low stress, quiet. He still flinched at loud noises and barely ate. Around noon, someone knocked, loudly, on the front door. I looked through the peephole. Her. Hair done, makeup flawless, holding a gift bag like nothing had happened. Like she wasn't the reason my son had spent a week hooked up to machines. I opened the door, stepped out, and shut it behind me before she could speak. "What the hell are you doing here?" I hissed. "I came to see my grandson," she said sweetly, like this was a damn Hallmark movie. "I brought him a present." "You're not welcome here." "I think you're being dramatic." My jaw clenched. "You kidnapped him. You threatened him. You." "Oh, stop. I took him for a few hours. He's fine now, isn't he?" I saw red. "He may look fine, but every time he closes his eyes, he relives that fall. You did that to him." She waved it off. Waved it off. "Kids bounce back. He'll forget it." "No, he won't. And neither will I." She stepped forward like she might push past me. "If you don't let me see him, I'll go to court. I'll get grandparents' rights." I smiled. "That report I filed, it wasn't just for documentation. We're pressing charges." Her face paled. "You wouldn't." "I already did." She took a shaky step back. For once, speechless. I nodded at the sidewalk. "Leave. If you show up again, the next knock at your door will be from a cop, not me." She left. The bag she brought, I threw it in the trash without opening it. Whatever was inside, it wasn't worth the cost of Eli's safety. A week after she tried to force her way back in, I got a message from my cousin Mark. We hadn't spoken in months. He was at the party, the one my mom threatened me over. The message was short. "I think you need to see this." I didn't realize how bad it was until now. Attached was a video. It started normal, my mom standing next to my sister, clinking glasses, everyone singing. But about 5 minutes in, I saw it. A slideshow, projected onto the back wall. Pictures of my son, Eli, dressed in the outfit my mom made him wear. On the jungle gym. The slide. The last photo, taken seconds before the fall. He's on top of the play structure, clearly terrified, clutching the side rail. His lips are parted, like he's calling for help. And in the corner of the frame, blurred but unmistakable, my mom, holding her phone, smiling. I paused the video, stared at it. She used that moment, right before he fell, for a photo op, and then left him lying unconscious in a pile of wood chips. I called Mark. She said Eli got hurt after they left the park. He said quietly, "That she found out later from you. But we all thought it was weird she used that photo anyway." She said it was the last time she saw him before the accident. I told him the truth. All of it. He went silent. "Jesus," he whispered. "I'm sorry, man. I didn't know." He wasn't the only one. By the end of the night, that video had been passed around my extended family. Aunts, uncles, even my sister. They all saw it. And one by one, the phone call started. Apologies. Shock. And then something else. Stories. Little details I'd never heard before. Because for the first time in my life, they were finally ready to talk. The first call was from Aunt Rena. She's my dad's sister. Quiet woman. Always polite, always watching. "I never knew how bad it got," she said. "We saw things growing up, but we didn't think it was our place." "What things?" I asked. She hesitated. "She played favorites. Everyone saw it. The way she treated your sister like a princess. The way she belittled you. She never hit me." I interrupted. "I don't know why I said that. Maybe to defend her. Or myself." "No," Rena said. "But she controlled you. She used guilt like a weapon. And when that stopped working, she used shame. Then she told me something I'd never heard before. When your dad left, he didn't just leave her. He left because of how she treated you. Said he couldn't stomach it anymore." I sat in stunned silence. "I thought he cheated," I said. "That's what she told everyone," Rena replied. It wasn't true. More calls followed. My cousin Mia said she once caught my mom yelling at Eli when he was 3 because he spilled juice on her rug, screaming, inches from his face. "She told me not to say anything," Mia whispered. "Said it would only make things worse." My sister even texted. "I didn't know she took him that day. I swear. She told me you gave permission." I didn't respond. Because suddenly, it all made sense. My entire life, I'd been told I was overreacting. Too sensitive. Too selfish. Too cold. But the truth was simpler. I was never broken. I was just being broken by her. And now? She'd crossed the one line I would never let her come back from. 2 weeks passed. Eli was healing, physically at least. Nightmares still came. Sometimes he'd wake up crying, asking if Grandma would come back. We always said no. Then the detective called. "There's enough for child endangerment," he said. "We're forwarding the case to the DA." I didn't expect much. Family cases get buried fast, especially when the abuser's a well-spoken, upper-middle-class grandma. But then we got lucky. Or cursed. Depends how you look at it. My mom showed up at the sitter's house. Unannounced. She rang the bell and asked if she could just take Eli for a bit. The sitter slammed the door and called me. Then the cops. She was picked up a few blocks away. Detained. Her story changed 3 times. First, she claimed I gave her permission. Then she said she was just trying to fix things. Finally, she admitted she missed having control of her grandson. Control, she said. Not time. That word told me everything. She wasn't lonely. She wasn't misunderstood. She was obsessed with power. And when she lost it, she spiraled. The DA moved fast. Added the attempted custodial interference to the list. Now she wasn't just toxic. She was criminal. A restraining order was granted, 90 days at first. Then permanent. She can't come within 500 feet of me, Jamie, or Eli. My lawyer called it a win. But I didn't feel victorious. I felt hollow. You don't celebrate protecting your kid from your own mother. You just thank God you caught it in time. And pray the damage isn't permanent. It was Eli's therapist who suggested art. He may not have the words yet, she said. But he'll show you what he remembers. So we gave him paper. Crayons. Sat him at the kitchen table and let him draw. At first, it was normal stuff. Our dog, the backyard, a T-Rex. Then, one day, he brought us something different. A playground. Stick figures. One small, one tall. The smaller one, him, was on top of a slide. Arms out. Mouth a red circle. Scared. The taller one stood nearby, with a big round head and red eyes. He handed it to me and said, "That's when I fell." Jamie asked softly, "Who's this?" He pointed to the tall figure. "That's Grandma." She yelled and said I ruined everything. Jamie's face went pale. She told me to go up again, even though I said no. Eli continued. She said if I didn't, I was a bad grandson. My hand curled into a fist. She was mad after I fell. She said I scared her guests. Guests. It finally clicked. She wasn't just taking photos. She had friends nearby. Witnesses. She made him climb the slide in front of them. Like a performance. And when he fell, when his tiny body cracked against the ground, she didn't even call 911 herself. The sitter did. That night, I added the drawing to a folder. Right beside the police report, the hospital records, the security footage. I labeled the file, "Never Forget." Because one day, when Eli's old enough to ask why we don't see Grandma anymore, I'll show him. 3 months after the restraining order, a letter showed up. No return address. Just my name, in her perfect cursive. I almost tossed it. But curiosity wins sometimes. I opened it. Inside, for pages. Rambling. Contradictory. Half apology, half manipulation. I never meant to hurt him. You know how dramatic Eli can be. I raised you. You wouldn't be the man you are without me. I forgive you. That one stopped me cold. She forgives me? For protecting my son? It ended with a photo. A printed picture of Eli at the top of the slide, frozen in that moment. Fear on his face. My mother smiling in the corner. On the back, she'd written, "He was happiest that day. You've stolen that from him." I ripped it in half. Not out of anger. Out of clarity. There would be no reconciliation. No closure. Only distance. I didn't tell Eli, she wrote. He was doing better. Sleeping through the night. Laughing again. Drawing things with blue skies. He still asks about her sometimes. When can I see Grandma? I always tell him the same thing. Not for a long time, buddy. She made a choice. And now we have to keep you safe. He nods. He doesn't need the full story yet. But one day, when he's ready, I'll show him everything. The photos. The drawing. The file marked "Never Forget." Because forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. And family doesn't mean sacrifice at any cost. Sometimes love means closing the door and never opening it again.